It's raining. I've just been putting more fire blankets and extinguishers. Well, not more, just one of the motorhomes had never screwed the fire blanket and the fire extinguisher to that, because that's going out today as well. Quick swill off of the Disco. Loads of people have gone, have you got a new car? Well, Nick was trading his Discovery in and they didn't offer him that much for it, so I thought it was a good buy. So it's like a bit of a pool car. Charlotte can use it and stuff. And it can tow trailers better than mine because mine's a hybrid. And it's great for the first 30 miles, but then after that, it's a 2-litre petrol engine, and it's not that good at towing then. It's got plenty of power, but it obviously uses quite a bit of fuel. I think it's time I hoovered this out. That's a lot better, and it now smells of rhubarb. Garden and pond update. James has put some root zone down, which has been recycled from either Everton or Liverpool's football club. Can't remember, but we've had it for a while in the field. The pond's now done. Needs to think wiring up properly. And then this is all getting turfed. The beach is done. Pebbles are on it. Gravel around that and plants to go in it. It's definitely looking a lot better than it did at the beginning of yesterday and the day before. It's raining quite nicely, filling the pond up as well over there. So it doesn't look as bare. And all the flowers are out in the garden, all the bluebells. Got Project Merlo in the shed now. I'm going to go and get the mini Merlo, and then I can copy where the sticker placement is compared to the two, because that's the nearest one in size to this one. They're slightly different stickers though now to what they used to have on, so it'll probably look a little bit more modern when I've finished. Oh look, I'm on a Merlo and it's got no fuel in it. Don't worry, someone else will fill it up. Right, got a time-lapse camera set up over there. Got a helper. Got some stuff for polishing, and then we've got a load of stickers and the one over there to copy off, so we're going to see where they all go and where they look best. We've decided that because it's going to say on either side of the boom, this small badge must be for the back here, so we're going to put that one on there. That looks perfect on there. Now I'll do the one on the bonnet and then the sides of the boom. That's what that one on there now. Lift the boom up, put them ones on. That's them on the boom now, and on the back and on the side. That one's might be slightly wonky. Got all these safety ones to put on now, and that's what I need this one to check for. So it turns out there's two kinds of cyclists on Twitter. There's those that understand if a large vehicle's stuck behind them and you're holding it up, that also cars are going to whiz past because they're invisible to the cars because of the large vehicle, and they're in danger and they're going to get run over. So they slow down and wave you past or move over or stop. And then there's those that think, I'm on my bike and I'm got just as much as right to be on the road as anyone else, so you can all wait behind me. That's fine, but like I said yesterday, when someone whizzes past us because they think we're going slow because we're stuck behind you, and they cut back in and you're there, you're the one that ends up in danger. Anyway, there's so many heated debates going on Twitter at the moment over yesterday's different comments and things. They're getting more wound up than the vegans. I can't believe it. Water main burst update. Still flowing, still no more action. Flowing all the way down the road, and then it's flooding nearly to meet in the middle again. It is going in the ditch, but when it rains it sort of washes this channel back in and then carries on down the road, and the road drains are already full as well. Now I've got a confession to make. About a month or so ago I told you this was a field of spring barley and it needed some moisture. Well, in fact it wasn't. It's a field of sunflowers, and now it's full of weeds and the slugs have eaten most of them. So if you look, that's what they should look like, but there's not many. And then there's lots of grass weeds and cleavers, that's basically sticky weed, and wild oats and things. So we drill the sunflowers in secret because there's so many people going to be copying the maize this year. We didn't tell anyone when we drilled it. So we drilled this field weeks and weeks ago now. I can't just remember the date. And then 3 weeks after we drilled this field, we drilled another field. That one, touch wood, fingers crossed, isn't as bad. This one though, we may have to write it off because there's too much weed and we've not probably got the density as sunflowers. Next week, we will be sowing more sunflowers because we're basically going to have 3 different stages of growth within them. So when the first ones start to die off, the second field will be ready. When that starts to die off, the third field will be ready. That's the plan. But the first field, as the shoots were coming up, slugs and pigeons were eating the growth point on the sunflowers. So they've thinned them out to less than half what we'd like. We nearly wrote it off a week ago, but we decided that we'd leave it once we got some rain and see what happened. And there is more suddenly appearing now, but we're not just sure whether it's even worth salvaging this field or not. And this green haze over it isn't really sunflowers, it's mostly weed, and we don't have a lot of weed options in sunflowers. If you were on the continent, you could use what they call a clearfield variety, and that means you could spray it with certain herbicides and it'd take everything out bar the sunflowers. But in the UK, we're not allowed to grow them. They're not licensed here, so we're just stuck with what we've got, and there's very little options. The dry weather suited a lot of the grass, a lot of the smaller weeds to get away before the sunflowers, and the pigeons and the slugs love the sunflowers and thin them out. We'll go up and look at the other field anyway now. That's the field we've just been in through that gap in the trees there. This is where we're making the car park. It's a bit wet, we're not doing anything like that today. I can't even get any liquid fertiliser on because we've had 6 mil overnight, we had 1.5 mil yesterday. It was just plenty sticky enough as it was yesterday. Anyway, this is now the other field of sunflowers. Less weed in this. It was sown probably around 3 to 4 weeks ago, I think. I can't just remember. There's little bits of weed coming in it, but what we did was we put the pre-emergent herbicide on as late as possible, and we mixed a little bit of glyphosate in with it to take out any weeds that had come up. So I'm just walking across the field now. We've just got one there, just one little tiny one just coming up. But again, the leaf's been nibbled. Oh, and there's another one, again, nibbled by slugs. I'll flip the camera around. So if you look, that leaf's been chopped off straight across. It should be like a pear shape, like round there, like the shape of your fingernail maybe. Same with that one, chewed off. Don't know if you can see little blue bits on the floor there. That's slug pellets. So we've been putting slug pellets on it every few days, but they absolutely love them, slugs. They just eat them for fun, and so do the pigeons. So there's the gas going to put out the other week. I told you it was spring barley, but it wasn't. It was, of course, sunflowers. There's another one there just showing, but again, the bigger leaves. One of the bigger leaves has been chomped off because they were growing so slow. They were just eating the middle growth point. That one there again, chewed. Anyway, I've got my fingers crossed that this field will survive, and I'm 30 to 40% that we might be able to salvage that one. So we're just going to have to hope and see. But what we really want now is warm weather. I mean, the sun has just briefly started to come out now, and it does feel warm, but the cold nights were really holding the growth back of them. And then also the slugs, they just couldn't grow fast enough to get out of the way of the slugs. If it wasn't for slugs and pigeons, there'd be a lot more crops we could grow in the UK a lot easier, but they're just such a big predator really. This is the drain that Adam dug down to the other day that was silted up. As you can see, it's full of water, and the water is over the top of the pipe, so it's definitely not working. So we are, like I say, going to have to investigate that this next week and try and get rid of some of this sort of wet patch in this field here. Because again, this is going to be sunflowers right up to where the potatoes are planted up there. And we're also going to have another go at some sweet corn in that top corner if the seed arrives. It's a bit of a miserable day with the weather. I've not been able to get on and do much work, so I'm going to go look at some beans now to try and make myself feel a bit better, because I feel about 70% today. These are the beans after the sunflowers. This one's particularly well advanced. So I've pulled it out now, and it's all in these leaves here. It isn't far off. You can even smell it having flowers on it. And then you can't really see yet on the roots, but you get little nodules on the roots, and that is basically nitrogen. A little bit of a furry bit on that one there, that could be the start of it. But they've gone down pretty deep looking for moisture, and like you say, by the end of next week I reckon some of the bigger ones will see little flowers on it. I just wish the sunflowers looked like that. There's obviously loads of them. These have probably, I don't know, doubled in size in the last week. I will have a look now if I can find a picture of them or a video of them from 7 days ago, and then you can see the difference maybe. I've just kind of finished outside for the day. My phone was bleeping, it was Twitter. Again, more cyclists they get so angry. They don't get what we're trying to explain, that they're just going to get run over. They think, oh, leave a bigger gap. Well, yeah, we can, but then it means that the cars have got even more speed once they've flown round us to go past them and something coming the other way. You know, unless they're going to put a beacon on their head 12 foot high or some side markers wider than us, they're near invisible if there's a HGV or a tractor behind them. If you're a cyclist, just think about that. Don't get wound up and think that, you know, you don't need to pull over. It's you're at danger, not us. Dead easy quiz question today. What does that do? It's on the mini Merlo, but every Merlo's got one on the joystick. Got the red switch. If you think you know, leave a comment below. That's about it for today. But not a lot going on, I'm going to be honest. Zero motivated today. Rain's really got me down. Feel about 70%. Sunflowers again. Fingers crossed. Anyway, here's an outro from Sam that was sent to me on Instagram, and I think you can click here to watch another video or click here to subscribe. Don't forget as well, I'll try and put it in the link, but there's a virtual farm tour on YouTube that was done by NFU, so I'm going to put the link below so you can have a look around the farm in better weather. So see you tomorrow.